Portugal and Czechia.
Ladies and gentlemen, now stand up if you're able for the national anthem of Portugal. Dámy a pánové, zůstaňte stát, zastavě hymna Česka!
Two teams coming together now to exchange some gifts and some handshakes, something that will happen all tournament long. We saw it last night too. And of course, we'll see that for the next game coming up tonight between Belgium and Montenegro as well. So please do stick around for that one. Great to see the reigning champions back on the floor later tonight. And these two teams both, of course, playing their second game of the tournament. Czechia getting a big win over Montenegro last night. Let's introduce tonight's referees for the game. Georgios Porcelidis from Greece, Valentin Olio from France, and Gintaras Mačiulis from Lithuania. And we, of course, congratulate all referees selected for the tournament. Let's now get into the lineups, the exciting part of the night. And we're going to start with Czechia first. And we know for their impact, we know their starting five was super strong, Mark, but it was their bench players that really came on and provided a spark. Tonight they're going with Pospišilova, Vorachkova, Hamzova, Vyodolova and Raisingarova. So Pospišilova gets a start tonight.
Yeah, she steps in instead of Stupalova, but you're quite right. The beauty of yesterday's performance is that 1 to 12 they did a great job. Highlighted, obviously, by just a phenomenal performance by Julia Raisingarova. Full team, 5 from 6 from the two-point range. She did a lot of everything. And the great thing is, the one player that played over 30 minutes for him in qualification only had to play 19 minutes yesterday. She was so effective, so efficient. You've got to manage the time, and Coach Pat Kober did a great job managing minutes yesterday. So they're all fresh, positive, happy with each other, ideal. What Portugal have got to make a statement early and try and take them out of that rhythm.
We are switching our attention now, of course, to Portugal on your screen. And last night's game, obviously, didn't go the way they would have wanted. Their first ever game in the EuroBasket Women's, though, so a great occasion for them. Tonight, their starting five is Rodriguez. She had a fantastic game last night. Betancourt, Correia, Filipe, De Silva and Da Costa.
Well, Filipe goes in, and yesterday they had to start big because they had to deal with Miesemann and Linskin, so Lavinia De Silva started. But Felipe's been in real energy for them in the qualifiers. She'll score her points in a hurry, but the energy she gives is tremendous. Sofia da Silva had that task yesterday of going up against real quality, real size on the inside, got her 11 points, came up with 6 rebounds, was still putting in a shift, but she had to play 30 minutes for this team. She's going to put a lot of miles on the clock if Portugal are going to progress. But for Coach, she really is an important factor. She'll give them that balance of scoring. He knows he's got guys who can shoot the ball. They need some balance on the inside, and that is primarily like Sofia da Costa. That's da Silva. That is really where it comes down to it. So she's going to be macking up the miles. She'll need that service at the end of this tournament.
So the Tissot countdown clock tells us there's 1 minute until tip-off. Of course, both teams played last night. I mean, tournament basketball, we had a big day yesterday. We had, obviously, the technical issues, and then we obviously had the excitement of it being the first game day, and now having to back up. Tournament basketball is super hard, so we'll see how these two teams both handle it, especially for Portugal. Their first time in EuroBasket women. Mark mentioned they beat Serbia to get here, 57-40. Czechia on their home floor. It's the first time we've had a EuroBasket women's here in Brno since 2017. They, of course, hosted the World Cup in 2010 as well. So it's a great basketball venue. Another great crowd, Mark. I love seeing the drums and all the colours.
Hey,
it's fantastic.
They've come out today as well.
Yeah.
We can pretty much, it's not a full house, but it's not far off it. We're over 2,000 yesterday. That's pretty much in that sort of region, and nothing to generate the crowd and the excitement for the team, the way they play, because they were fun to watch. And once, second half in particular, they shot the ball really well. And this Czechia nation loves the ability to shoot the ball. They've had some great shooters historically. And the way they played yesterday, this crowd, the expectation goes up. Portugal have nothing at all to lose though. They can do it against Serbia, they can cut, they can stop Serbia, they can really make it hard for this Czechia national team. This guy is a permanent fixture of Czech basketball fans. He has
excellent.
He was there in 2010. I was fortunate enough to be here. He's been here ever since and before. He sums it up here.
Welcome back to Czechia. It is day 2 of Group C, and it's the host Czechia taking on the rookies, Portugal. Julia Montesano and Mark Clark with you in commentary. Some fresh starting fives for both teams tonight. Julia Pospíšilová gets her first start on her birthday today as well, so that's a nice present. But how about that start from Portugal?
Wow, we talked about the need for the Silva to get going, but like not from the perimeter. That's not the script that says you got to get out there and extend the floor. Superstar for the Portuguese.
It's the sound of the drums. Czechia tried to get their offense going. Risingarova was a superstar yesterday. She couldn't quite knock that one down. Hamsova back into Risingarova. Great body work, great finish.
Simply can't let her get that deep. If she's that deep, they've got to get in front. Risingarova is not going to have the lob and the space to catch it in space behind. You've got to front that deep. You've got to play her harder before she catches the ball. But what a great finish by the star of yesterday's game.
Betancourt, Correa, Da Silva. Can she go back to back? Good defense there by Czechia. Rajkova up ahead. Da Costa was there with her.
That's a super effort by Da Costa.
Da Silva now. Good defense again. Rajkova was the one that got it started for Czechia yesterday. I wonder if she'll have the same impact tonight. Risingarova, we know how her night went last night, and she started with impact today again.
If Portugal decide to play her one-on-one in the post, they can't win the game because she will just score at will. If she catches this deep, the double team doesn't come. She's just going to make the spin to the baseline. She's too big, she's too strong, she's too everything. She's just too good, that close to the ring. Still going to play her earlier than they played her, and I don't believe they can play her one-on-one in the post. Let's find out if Czechia will shoot the ball from the perimeter as well as they did last night. One thing's for sure, this girl is going to score from that deep.
18 from 28 free throws last night for Czechia. Risingarova hasn't quite got it started in terms of free throws, but 4 points already. Betancourt, Correa has Here's Philippe. Goes to Rodriguez. She had a really good game last night. What a start to her EuroBasket women's career. Hamsova now. Again rewarded with the start. She was really positive last night. She continues to be a factor again here. Just loses it at the last moment, and DaCosta again right there with the Czech offense. Betty Torko-Haya, the fans had something to say about the contact. She drives. Oshpishalova very potent in defense, and now she's off and running. Finds Hamsova. Racing her over again in a deep position. The ref just has to come in and calm things down there.
I don't know if he had to go on. I think the players had got very calm. But this is just a foul you have to take. You have to take one for the team right there. There's no way that they were going to be able to deal with that situation. DaCosta knew it. Take the foul. Let's get on the end line and play again. The worry for me, like Judy, is they've missed 3 attempts now going to the basket. They've just got to have that composure to finish the play.
Violalova drains the triple. Captain's basket early on. A 7-2 lead for Czechia in the early stages of this one. Picking up where they left off last night. De Silva getting to work on Racing-Arova, and the foul is called.
Well, the great thing is a foul. You see, they've got to make Racing-Arova play defense. They've got to make her play at both ends of the floor. Try and limit the amount of time she can be out there and effective. But they've got to finish plays. You've got to be looking at making the move to go for get the and-one, not just go to the free throw line. They've been to the basket on 3 occasions and not taking good shots to finish plays. If they can get there, they prove they can get there, they've just got to finish plays. Down this end, down the defensive end for Portugal, Racing-Arova is just immense. The whole thing revolves around getting the ball inside to her. That's obviously the way they're going to play it early, just to see how they're going to guard it. She's been immense. They've done a great job getting the ball there. They get the inside-outside. Great start for Czechia.
Oh, and a bit of a mistake there from Hamsova.
This is one of the things we mentioned yesterday about were Czechia going to be able to break down the defense on the perimeter against Montenegro. Against Montenegro, never an issue. It's just a little bit quicker, a little bit more aggressive in the space, and it's just beginning to show that they're going to have to work that much harder on the ball. That's the real big positive so far for Portugal. Their ability to pressure the basketball could be absolutely vital.
Rodriguez coming off 13 points against Belgium last night. Gets her first basket here.
Hey, look at this.
Again. Oh! That was almost a gimme, but it's funny how you miss the easy ones.
I was just, as I said to you, when you look at that, I said it's that she was just so quick. Racing-Arova was so quick at the point of transition. She's wide open, as you said. When you're that open, you just don't know what to do because you don't have to worry, and all of a sudden, just concentrate, get back to those years as a kid and laying up against the backboard, and she just blew a gimme. And then they give another foul up. So nice little series here for Portugal.
Cut the lead. The deficit, down to 1. Zatamanova on the floor for Czechia. Her pace was vital last night. Vorachkova. Again, that falls short. Able to scoop it out to Holoshinska. And that's what she does best.
Gotta love her. Impact the moment she steps on the floor.
Oh, that's a great find. The Silva just went a bit too high on the shot. Vorachkova, she wants to join the party.
Yeah.
Great pressure. And just for that, she gets a rest. Emma Chekova comes onto the floor.
You can never underestimate, you should never underestimate being able to pressure these situations. The mistakes we're seeing are purely down to the situation that the game is setting. Everyone knows what's resting on the game. Crazy travel that you would never see from these players. just because of the circumstances that we're facing in a decisive game in a EuroBasket.
Athletic catch there from Rodriguez. DaCosta now. They need her to fire tonight, you sense. Oh, Czechia, active hands. She's off and running. Got the pass to Zaitamarova. It all worked out in the end. Rodriguez now. One way, then the other. Costa has to go back and find it. Rush shot in the end. They get another chance at it from the baseline.
I mean, if you're going to be critical of Portugal at the moment, they just need that little bit of composure on the release of the shot. But everything else for them is fine. Then you got to ask yourself the question, which one of these guys is going to step up and become the scorer for them? And is it DaCosta? Is it going to be Philippe taking the advantage at the start? They've got to find someone to become a scorer.
Here is DaCosta doing what she does best on the Portugal end. Three-pointers so far looking good for both teams. Olashinska, had a great night from long range. Czechia got it stolen away from her, and now Philippe can get going up the other end. That one just falls short.
There it is again. She does everything right and then just takes a really poor shot.
Rashkova to Pospisilova. On her birthday, banks it home.
Well, it is only Friday afternoon, so the bank should be open. This is frantic.
Yeah.
Both ways. Both teams are a little bit too quick for themselves at the moment.
15 plays 9. DaCosta, Czechia. Pospisilova going to come to the bench.
Well, we saw yesterday how important the bench was for Czechia. They're just, it's almost like all 12 players are pretty much bring the same sort of things as a group. And that level of intensity is going to be so important in this one.
Oh, Czechia says, not in my house.
That's 3 blocks for Czechia. She's been in the game 2-3 minutes. And she just said, hey, this is where I live. Don't bring, you're gonna have to bring a little bit more than that if you're gonna be successful here. Love the intensity, just would love to see a little bit more composure both ways. No one better with composure than Olashinska.
Crowd bringing the noise. Czechia bringing the vibes in front of their home fans. Portugal able to cut it off. They've got a great contingent in the house tonight as well. Umabano on for some minutes. Can't make an impact just yet. Smothering defense from DaCosta.
See, that's going to be DaCosta's second foul. The one down in the block, understand the one in the block had to make it. But she's 20 meters from the basket. Just get back and play some defense. She's going to have to sit, and one of the most potent offensive threats that the Portuguese have is now going to sit on 2 fouls. It's that composure, making decisions under pressure. They've just got to get to a point of being under control of what they're trying to do.
You mentioned last night, foul trouble in every single quarter. They ended up in the bonus, Portugal, so they need to watch themselves tonight.
Well, you can see the problem. This is the problem we talked a little bit about yesterday, but Montenegro couldn't deliver on it. That pressure on the ball is giving Czechia some problems. And that's the frustration. If you're on that Portuguese bench now, you're going, hey, all the same down here, keep it going. But when we have the ball, can we just calm down and get some shots we want? Intriguing.
Suero. Made it all the way through. But Czechia end up with the rebound. The captain, Vioralova, EuroLeague champion, gets another one to go. Fahida now for Portugal. Happy to pass it around. Betancourt Kohaya, experienced head in this team. Fahida fouled on the way through. So second foul for Hamzova. See this shot here from Vioralova. Beautiful release.
It's quite surprising might not be the right word, but I'll use it. It's quite surprising the way that Czechia have decided that they're going to come out and run and look to take the early option. Because yesterday they were a little bit more controlled. They shared it and then broke the defense down when they had closeouts. Now they're coming down and shooting the basketball so much more than they did in the first half yesterday. And I don't think Portugal will be that disappointed about that. What they're going to be disappointed about is not being able to tick the scoreboard over at this end. Listen, opportunity after opportunity. 9 points is just not going to get it done.
Portugal went to the free throw line twice the whole night last night. They've already been there twice today, so this is where they've got to learn. Perhaps it's a night from the free throw line, so they've got to take those opportunities. You can see the offensive foul there from Czechia too, so some stuff is going their way. They just need to convert, take those opportunities.
Czechia have turned the ball over 7 times already. I mean, that's a ridiculously high number for them. That's on course, not that they'll sort that out, but that's on course for pretty much 30 turnovers in a game. The trouble is they have no points off turnovers. 7 turnovers, no points off those 7 turnovers. They've got to be able to convert.
Yet another shot goes begging. Luckily they've got the rebound.
Oh, their work rate is incredibly good at the moment.
Fahida couldn't stay in. Just those little things. They're going to learn from this. We mentioned it is their very first EuroBasket women's tournament, but they love to get a win. They love to get off the mark here in Brno.
And we can see why they're like they are. They have periods where they go and score 10 in a row, then they'll have periods for 5 minutes where they don't score because they just lack that little consistency of what they're trying to achieve. Their effort defensively, exceptional. They're really giving Czechia a hard time. They just can't turn that defense into points.
Angelova on for her first minutes. She'll bring the ball down here. Oleshinska. Stupalova. Angelova. It gets cut away. Can Umabano take this opportunity? Chekova again. So lethal in defense. And it ends up in a basket the other way. That really hurts Portugal, but well done to Oleshinska.
But look at the difference in the finish. Oleshinska stayed with the shot, got an angle that she could use. Umabano just let it go and hoped it went in.
And Portugal finally get a field goal. They were going 17% prior to that. Betancourt Kohaya able to convert.
We're going to get an 8-second call here. I love the effort. I love the way they've decided to play it. The defense, they're doing an excellent job. Just a little bit of composure, just a small bit, and they're right in the game. This is going to be a really tough night for Czechia if Portugal start to convert those stops into scores, because they are having to work so hard with the basketball against this pressure.
Fahida. 30 seconds left in this first term. What can Portugal do here? Suero traveled. It was great defense there from Angelova.
Absolutely, and everybody else, because there was we can be very critical of no one in a white uniform moving, but Czechia are now answering that defense with defense of their own. Great game already.
Coach Vasconcel's not happy at all at the moment, as you can see on the bench. Viotalova has had the hot start. Portugal now with the chance to close it out. Fajita loses it. And that is all she wrote for the first period. It's a high-tempo game, as we expected. Both teams full of energy at the moment, and at the end of the first quarter, it is Czechia 19, leading Portugal 11. So the game stats will tell us, Mark, that Portugal have really struggled from the field. 23% from two-point range. They've just hit the 1-3. Czechia going well, but they have had the turnovers too.
Well, it's the Czechia turnovers that are keeping that score down, because they're shooting 60% from three, high 50s from two. But then, unfortunately, it's 2 points from turnovers. They've had opportunities going to the ring, and you're just crying out for him to just take a breath with the basketball. They started so well because Silva gets a feet set, strokes the shot. It was almost like what was supposed to happen, because this is where Czechia went straight to the gut of the defense with Antikarova. So everything was on script, and then all of a sudden Czechia start to turn the ball over, and they don't get the reward. If you're Portugal, coach will be saying, that's great, just make sure we execute. When they get their feet set, Rodriguez showed yesterday she can score. We were asking who else was going to be that scorer. We've yet to find out who that other person is going to be, because they've had so many opportunities, high percentage shots that they have missed. And as we said right at the beginning, they're not going to win a high-scoring game. 19 points is too many to Czechia. That's on course for 80. There's no way Portugal is scoring 80 to win the game, so they've got to turn those stops into points and slow down that scoring rate, which they've started to do, and then they're right in it. I like the way that they've got a game plan here that can work, Portugal. Just have to finish.
Well, you can scan the QR code on your screen to get the Courtside 1891 app, where you can watch live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. Well, thank you, of course, for joining us on Courtside, or wherever you are around the world. Czechia and Portugal, 8 points separating them at the moment. Later on tonight, Montenegro up against Belgium. Tipping off the second period, 19 plays 11. Czechia in front of their home fans here in a packed Brno.
Great, I love the way that Daddy says, we're not playing a one-on-one. We know we can't play a one-on-one. We're going to send someone to go after it. And it was Felipe on that occasion. And as soon as she puts it down here, get after it, because that's when she's vulnerable to the steal. Tremendous rotation and effort. I think they've got one go their way there. Looked like it came off their toe.
See if they could take advantage of that. Hamzova says no. It won't be.
Well, she definitely said no. They are so long. Apart from the fact that Andilova is only 173 and Zahamarova is like 169, everyone else is so long that whatever matchup they've got, they're going to contest the shot.
Rodriguez. Oh, denied again. Hits the deck very hard.
She landed everything on the back, didn't she? That's quite rightly, no one's rushing on because no one's like yelling. I think hopefully she's just winded. They don't want to take her out. That's the thing. If she's good enough to go, they don't want to send the medical person on to her taking her out, but she does. She looks a little bit tender.
Yeah, just trying to stretch the legs out a bit too. The bench willing her on. Eventually she does get to her feet, which is good news, because it was quite a heavy hit.
Wow, yeah, it was.
Yeah, straight on the back, as you mentioned. Hamzova's been pretty physical. 2 fouls to her name, and then sent Rodriguez to the deck.
That's one thing this game is at the moment. It's physical.
Yeah.
The defense is going at it. Got to get a quick release here. 2.2 on the shot clock.
Petrikoko higher, has to go. It's always going to be short. So Czechia ball. Michalova to Hamzova. Philippe again, you mentioned she's the one applying that pressure. They do get away with it, and Angelova was in the right spot and converted.
Cool as you like, hey? Everyone's running around and she just stands there, gets herself set, strokes the three, gets back on defense as though that's what she does every day of the week.
Philippe faked under Vorachkova and banked it home.
Much better. A
Yeah.
little bit of ball movement, create a little space to attack.
Hamzova. Vorachkova thought about it. Pospišilova's already hit a three. Great rebound, Angelova. And gets the putback to go. What a nice little spell she's having.
Who was that commentator saying that she's only 170? You know, she's only 173.
Height doesn't mean anything.
Don't know who it was. But like, she just goes to work on the glass and outworks her and Rodriguez having their own little battle on the glass. And you've said it so many times during the first part of this game, the depth that this Czechia team have, people coming off the bench doing their job, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Important time out here. It's 11-point game, he's got to correct it.
Quero que vocês entendam, não defendemos o campo todo, perdemos todo o salto, não é possível ganhar. Não tem outras palavras para dizer isto. Nós subimos o campo todo e estamos situados. Não damos barretes, corremos com a bola no chão. Corremos com a bola no chão. Bola no chão pela bola no ar. Depois toda a gente entra em salto. A bola vai ficar por uma individualidade. Tentar puxar 4 baixo. Ok? Chute, abre, flare, buscar uma mão com as costas para eliminar a batida. Está bem? Pronto.
Olashinska there, we see on the replay, hitting a super sweet three. And then Vyortilova joining the party from long range. Pospišilova on her birthday. What a sweet shot that was. And then a really great quarterback sort of pass. Angelova happy to convert. So it's been a 3-point party for Czechia tonight. Everyone's got in on the action, which is fantastic to see. And they lead this one 24-13. It prompted a timeout from coach Vasconcelos.
Wow, still 57% from the three-point line. Just don't accept. That's almost balancing out the turnovers.
Silva to Da Costa. Can they get back in rhythm here, Portugal? Silva up against Rice-Singarova. That's a tough shot.
What's wrong? What's wrong with him waiting for a shot that she wants to take, that she wants to practice? And if they haven't got something good, get something you want. It's a tough shot, well defended, just made it, but it was a shot she was on balance to take.
So for Haida just holding there in the defense. Just getting in the way there of Hamzova. Having a physical battle, these two. Angelova, Rice-Singarova. She get her revenge on the offensive end. It gets swatted away. Philippe, she's so active in this second period.
Yeah, I just love, they've obviously made the decision. They're asking the player who's going to help, not just to help, but to go after the basketball and be aggressive on that rotation. So Silva did a nice job at sealing off the penetration. And Philippe went after it. Unfortunately, they didn't come up with the ball.
She won't get a stat for that stuff, and it's obviously ended up back with Czechia, but she's working super hard, and eventually it's going to turn, I reckon.
Well, it's always like bits and pieces of things that have to come together. They've now found a way that's been relatively successful with Rice-Singarova. So now they've just got to add to something else, and then they can close this margin.
Haida receives it. Philippe, she deserves a triple, and she gets one! What a response here from Portugal.
Well, Philippe is feeling it, the way she's reacted to that. Find her again, get her another open look.
Hamzova pushing the pace, Pospišilova back to Hamzova.
Again, that's okay. If you're going to take a foul, make sure you really get a benefit stopping the shot. Foul before the catch. Silva didn't. That's 2 fouls on it though, so it's got to be careful.
You see the hand in the wrong moment there. But that was a sweet shot from Philippe up the other end. Definitely deserved that. She's been a menace on defense so far in this game. Hamsova was too good for her on that occasion.
And there's the Silva's problem. She doesn't want to leave Risingarova, so therefore there's no help on the penetration. Good recognition, good execution, nice 2.
Czechia get it back here. Holoshinska with the active hands. Whoa. Hamsova just gets to her feet, like nothing happened.
Yeah, Philippe was just late. It looks a little bit worse than it was
in
some ways. If she'd have been a couple of steps earlier, she'd have been in good shape. But Flori's just checking back into the game, and as good a job as she's doing handling the ball, she's just got to become a threat out here, because it just makes everybody's life so much more difficult, because no one has to help when she penetrates. She's not looking to be a scorer. She's got to find a way to get some offense for herself.
Pospisilova. Again, the referees intervene. There's a lot happening away from the ball at the moment.
And I think that's DaCosta's 3rd foul, which, again, you can forgive that one and you can forgive the one in the post. It's the one up the floor where there's no need for her to do it, is the one that's going to frustrate that Portuguese bench.
Quiet night for DaCosta last night. 8 points is pretty okay, but 27% from the field, so she could have had a much bigger night. Holoshinska, she had quite a large night last night. Suero. Bahida. Umabano. Once Philippe eventually finds her. Borachkova, the active hands.
There's not a lot of scorers on the floor here for Portugal at the moment. And it looked like that on that last offense. No one moved off the basketball as the scorer would do to catch and release. Philippe's the only real catch and shoot player on the floor at the moment. On the inside, this is going back, this is the 3rd player rotation on the inside, so this unit's got to work hard to stay in touch. The 5-second call.
Couldn't get it in. Those little things will start to add up if they don't clean them up quickly.
Portugal are going to make some decisions about the players on the bench, and this unit is not a scoring unit.
Yorolova to Risingarova, going up against Cruz for the first time tonight, and she's immediately fouled.
Carolina Cruz has got to, when you're on the bench, you have to watch what's going on the floor. And so, they must have talked about the rules on the post. So De Silva was, I'm going to seal that and wait for someone else to come and reach and try and steal it. Whereas De Cruz has a little dig at the ball, and it's going to be called as a foul. They're in the penalty again. Czechia haven't called any fouls in this 2nd quarter. So Portugal are just undoing the good work they did after that timeout to get back in the game.
5 points for Risingarova. Free agent at the moment in terms of clubland. Intrigued to see where she ends up post this EuroBasket Women's Tournament. She's made a great case for herself so far.
I'd sign her.
Yeah.
I
Me
think
too.
there's a lot of general managers that are watching this going, why haven't I signed her? Unless she's got options, she just hasn't put the signature on the paper yet. I can't believe she won't have options.
Second foul for Zayt Tamadova. Suero will inbound the ball for Portugal. Just the 1 point last night, 2 rebounds and 2 assists. Up against Belgium, it was always going to be tough, but still no points to her name tonight. Vorachkova now pushing the pace. Still Vorachkova. Rysigarova again will head to the line. So tough to guard at the moment.
All right, it's tough enough that, and they've been successful defensively. Offensively at the moment, I mean, as a team, only 2 players would average double digits in the qualifiers, and neither of those are on the floor at the moment. There's no one on the floor at the moment who averaged over 4 points in the qualifiers.
Wow.
And I think that, and the way they're playing, it looks that way too. No one looks like they're a scorer, you know, like the one that looks to catch, looks to have the options that they want to take. You know, it gets into that discussion of, you know, do you risk the fouls, because otherwise by the time people go back, it will be too big a margin. Lavinia De Silva started last night because of the size, and has had one spell on the floor. Maybe she might be an option. But somewhere from that Portuguese bench, someone's got to take the opportunity to be a hero for the team.
Emma Chekova back on the floor. She
Doesn't
started
get
with a
any
block
easier.
party.
Yeah. Doesn't get any easier. She's in the floor, and she's more of a shot blocker and more of a real ring protector. But there's the case in point, because Joanna Suara is not going to shoot the ball. Everyone just steps off her, they run the action, and she's in so much space. Just recognize it, back yourself, and shoot the basketball. Club-wise, she shoots the 3 well enough that you shouldn't be able to leave her wide open.
Haida to Philippe, to Betancourt or higher. Still with Portugal's number 10. Gets swatted away again. Guess who? Emma Chekova. It's a blockathon in Brno. And it's all courtesy of Emma Chekova.
It's an interesting thing here, because we asked how good were Czechia. Well, they've been challenged in this first half, and they've found the way to build a 12-point lead with 4 minutes to go still. So they're so much better than they looked during qualifiers. It's a really good sign for them as this tournament progresses.
Poloshinska just has to put it up. Take by Vorachkova, but 30 plays 18. So second foul. So she'll have to take a seat. A great night for her last night. 12 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists up against Montenegro. Hasn't had as much success tonight. Betancourt Kohaya, Silva on for her first minutes. Swahedo nearly had the opportunity.
I assume the foul was off the ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Czechia had no fouls 3 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. They've now picked up 4 quick ones, so they're in the penalty as well. This looks a little bit more balanced since Sofia De Silva's been back on the floor. At least they can run things around her offensively.
Haida, Suedo. Dumps it to Silva. Yodolova. Happy to clean up the scraps. Hamsova back out there. Kopecka. Oralova. Chekova. Doesn't quite get the shot to go.
But the great thing for Czechia is that Chekova can stretch the floor, so that takes the silver out the keyway, and they've got big rebound advantages away from the 5 spot.
Kopecka at the line for the first time tonight. Well, she plays here in Brno. What a great occasion in front of her family and friends in the house. 4 points and 3 rebounds last night against Montenegro. Agnieszka Kopecka. Chekova, great reaction. Keeps Czechia in it. Fresh 12 here. Got to go now. Hamsova obliges, and the whistle came too.
I like Hamsova. I think that extra length that she gives them at that spot. You know, 182 point guard who's got quickness and handle. There's lots of nice pieces that seem to be really gelling together for this Czechia roster. And they'll benefit from a game like this because the tempo defensively has challenged them. And they've dealt with it pretty well.
So Hamsova at the line. Gets the first one to drop. 3rd point for the night. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists last night against Montenegro. Another one that plays locally here in Brno, and she gets the crowd up on their feet.
Yeah, it's part of that big debate. They're playing on a good level, Europe Cup women, etc. But they're playing at that high level as opposed to perhaps being in Prague and not getting a lot of minutes. And they're reaping the benefit as a national team for those players playing in big cup competitions.
Czechia on a 9-0 run at the moment.
Yeah. Well, they closed it to a 6-point margin after the timeout and haven't scored in an absolute eternity. They haven't scored in literally five minutes since the time. That's 5 minutes since the timeout. They scored on 2 possessions after. They haven't scored since.
You can see why they've taken a timeout here. Down 33 points to 18. 3 minutes left here in this opening half. We're going to take you into the Portugal huddle to see what Coach Ricardo Vasconcelos has to say.
Vamos. 2, 2, 1. 2, 3 atrás. Volta lá sacar aqui, ok? 2, 3. Vamos fazer ataque sobre carga. Está bem? Portanto, fazer questão de cá, ajudar, biga no meio, fechar o postal todo. Sabemos que 12 e 13 são lançadoras. Saiam a obrigar a pôr a bola no chão. Não as deixem apontar sequer. Não há dúvida, tem que driblar. Ok? 2, 3. Quer bem com o 3. Estão marcando para continuando com 2, 3, está bem? Em ataque, vamos jogar mão. Vocês duas vamos jogar mão, está bem? Vamos lá, jogo.
Many expressions of a EuroBasket Women's Tournament right in front of our eyes. Czechia getting the better of Portugal here so far, 33 to 18. Great crowd packed in the house. Of course, a lot of cheering on for the home nation, but we've had a lot of support for Portugal both last night and today as well. They're trying to will their side to their first ever EuroBasket Women's win. But Czechia standing in their way firmly. With 3 minutes left in this opening half. They're on a 9-0 run at the moment. Prompted a Portugal timeout. Poloshinska continues the 3-point party.
Well, they went to the zone, and you've got to say Czechia just waited and moved it, waited for the zone to adjust, and then found the open player.
Poloshinska's foot was on the line. I was so excited for that. A 2-pointer still, very nice.
Again, the execution was exceptional by Czechia because the back player of the zone lifted to guard the wing. Poloshinska just put herself in the corner. No rotation from the zone. She gets an open look. She's too good a player to get that much time and that much space.
She's the top scorer on the floor right now, 7 points and 3 rebounds. Played just under 11 minutes. Betancourt higher. Guarded by Pokushalova. Just chucks it up in the end. Allows Czechia to get going and continue their run. Angelova to Kopecka. Angelova gets it back. Polashinska, does she go again? Shot clock down to 5. Emma Chekova gets moving and gets her first points of the game.
I'm a fan. She just does what it says on the tin you're supposed to do. I'm supposed to be the 5, you build it around me, but I can put it on the floor and I can extend it. I've already made the jump shot, you got to honor me, and I'm just gonna do the right thing. And if you come at me down there, I'm gonna block it. I'm gonna make it hard for you. They've got a nice little 1-2 punch with Rising Marova and her. As a unit, they've always got that inside stability to build it around.
Don't mind that for an accessory, a little basketball hat.
Probably one available in the shop. This is the shop here.
Rodriguez now for Portugal. Suero. Yeah, and uses her pace, but just not going to the ring.
See, everybody in a red uniform just stayed at home on that penetration because they didn't feel like they had to help, so every pass was going to be tough. It's hard. I mean, I'm not for 1 second saying it's easy, but you've got to find a way to at least make the defense player honest.
Angelova. Polashinska. Kopecka. Pospisilova. Beautiful work from Kopecka under the rim. Never gave up on it. Starting to get away from Portugal here. How do they end this last minute well? Rodriguez, she was the spark for them last night. A great little pass to Silva, who wasn't quite ready for it in the end. It allows Czechia to get moving. Pospisilova dumps it to Chekova. Couldn't quite bank it in. That was a great little sequence though. Hopefully they'll get some reward out of it from the free throw line. Hard to believe Emma Chekova's only got the 2 points. She's had such a big influence in this game.
But that's what we continue to say. It's not just about the points that she brings. She's changed so many shots at the defensive end. In fact, she surely has more than 2 because she made the perimeter shot and went to the basket. So,
maybe my stats
not
are bad.
that I'm doubting the stats, guys, but
we'll happily give her more, but yeah,
no,
we don't control the stats. Tell you what she does have, and that's blocks. She's been electric on the defensive end.
Yeah, there's still I think someone has her points.
Anyone in the stadium, if you've got Emma Chekova's points, can you please give them back to her?
Not that it'll worry her, because what all that worries her and the whole of this Czech team, it appears, is the 40 and the 18. Yeah, the stats have it. I think it's the stadiums. The Czech has the stats have her as 5.
Okay.
It's only because we're fans that we're following it up.
Yeah.
She definitely made the nice perimeter shot.
I remember.
Yeah.
I do.
So someone on that scorer's table is doing our Emma Chekova short. She's like coming up short on numbers, but it's in the stats. Those of you following the stats on the website, on the app, and everything else, it has her as 5. But that's not the important thing. Is that she has just been a factor. In some ways, she's been a bigger factor than Rysikarova in this game.
come Portugal once again. They finally broke that scoring drought just then with the free throw. Hadn't scored in 6.5 minutes prior to that.
Diana's gets some time. She hasn't seen any floor time.
Umabano, similar for her, limited minutes. She's getting to work though. Oh, turns it over to Andilova. 2-1. She wasn't quite aware of it. Or maybe she was and just didn't want to go for it. Either way, a clinical opening half from Czechia once again, picking up where they left off last night. At halftime, it's Czechia 40, leading Portugal 19. So the game stats will show much of the same trends that we saw at the end of the first quarter mark. Portugal still struggling from the field and Czechia still thriving.
Well, the numbers are pretty similar, aren't they? They're at 60% from the three. It's just slipped a little bit from that. They've just been exceptionally good at when they have the ball. The only negative they've had the whole game, Czechia, is at times they've turned the ball over far too often. Not necessarily far too often for today, but going forward in the tournament, they can't have that many turnovers against some of the better teams they hope to meet later in the competition. Here's the story of the two key players. And Rysingarova, if we said maybe has not had as big an impact, whatever, has the 8 points. The Silva has the 7. They've come up with the performances we'd expect them to come up with. But the difference is who's been supporting these two players. And Chekova, who's now our adopted player from this commentary position, has been exceptional on the inside. And whereas the Silva hasn't really had enough support from her teammates in ticking this scoreboard over. I mean, these highlights, lots of. This was a classic where Andilova, everyone was running around this. She just gets her feet set and knocks down the three. But that pretty much sums up. Once Czechia got it down the floor, they ended up getting shots they wanted. So it's contributions across the roster, which appears to be the watchword for this team.
21-8 in that quarter as well for Czechia. Portugal just could not score. Their scoring was tough in the first period, but in the second they still couldn't quite take those opportunities, and it ended up being a really big drought. I think it was 6.5 minutes without a score at all.
After they closed to 6 after the timeout, then didn't score for 5 minutes. Now the replay of De Silva on that little fadeaway, well, it's a fadeaway jump shot. You might go, oh, they need something. But that's the shot she takes. They got the ball inside and they got a shot that they wanted to take, and they were unbalanced. They've taken so many shots where they've not balanced, not finished the play. That really has given them a real issue. They have the same number of turnovers as either team.
Yeah.
Czechia have doubled the score in terms of points off turnovers against that Portuguese team.
We're now going to head off to a very quick break, but don't go anywhere. The home fans are ready for a big half from Czechia. They lead at halftime.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Harassed by Katanich. Throws up a prayer. Oh, you are kidding me! How did Yoshkai to get that one to go?
Another chance, and Schwartz gets blocked. And McGowan not able to keep her feet in bounds.
By 15, Bilka fakes the pass. And one. And she'll go to the free throw line.
Really good job. A nice little fake.
Double. And it's going to be France if he gets the last chance. SDA bounce pass, Lacan, and what about that? Right at the end. Excellent play by France. 4 by Greece.
Oh, it's cut away there by Kovacevic. She's had a hot start to this game. Oh, denied by Stupalova.
Three-pointer. And the rebound. Oh, are you kidding me? The offensive rebound and put back by Schwartz. What a sequence.
Rebound falls kindly into the hands of Siniskaita, but she throws it away. Nogic reads the passing lane well. Anderson is there and will get the score. An early 4-point lead for Serbia.
Where the energy starts, as we always say. Villegas now for 3. What a moment! The behind the back pass, the corner 3.
Penetration by Henderson. Great Britain, I believe 1 for 9. 10 to the perimeter at the moment. But again, Puello goes quickly. I think Great Britain's transition defense needs a little bit more motivation because they're giving up way too much.
Lovely touchdown pass from Ortiz, full court.
Van Loo trying to find a way through. Oh my God! Emma Messerman's on the board.
It's a super pass. I was looking the other way. She faked me from here.
Sensational. It is a pleasure to watch.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
Welcome back to Brno, where it is Czechia leading Portugal by 21 points heading into the second half. One of the players we highlighted at the start of the game was Rajsegarova. 8 points, 4 from 5 from the free throw line, 2 from 4 from 2-point range mark. She really has picked up where she left off last night, having a really great tournament so far.
Oh, I think she contributes herself really well and efficiently. But look what she's made the Portuguese do. They've had to talk about double teaming, they've had to talk about where they're help from. And her teammates are then just thriving on the space that she has created for them on the perimeter. And their three-point percentage, it's a tough ask. You know, what do you do? Double down, or do you just stay out and play one-on-one? And it's forcing you to pick your poison. And that's such a great place for coach to be in. That means she has the options. She can emphasize what she wants because she can go in and out and share the ball. It's really, you never underestimate a Czechia lineup because of their history and their quality, but this is impressive at the moment.
And another player we did highlight at the start of the game was the captain of Portugal, Sofia da Silva. She's their leading scorer at the moment, has the 7 points so far for the game. She's been trying her heart out, trying to put up these good shots, but it hasn't been anyone that's really come with her and joined her for the party.
That's a great point. She's had 7 points being guarded by a player that's played at the highest level you can in European club basketball, and she's come up with 7 points on 3 from 4 from the line. She's drew fouls. She's got a number of options in her own locker in terms of creating space and getting shots. Beautiful example of it here, the way she steps in and goes back off that back leg with space. Who else is coming out and shooting a good percentage? Who else is benefiting in the way that the Czechia lineup do? Who else is actually being available for her to give her options? And it's not been there enough. And And that sums up the difference. They're a better team than 19 points in a half, Portugal. You don't beat teams like the level of Serbia. They just haven't had that composure. And maybe being at EuroBasket for the first time, it's a massive learning curve. They'll be better for the experience. They won't think that right now, but they will be better for the experience.
So we are in readiness for a big second half here from Czechia. Of course, a rest day here in Brno tomorrow, and then a big finish on Sunday. Portugal up against Montenegro and Belgium taking on Czechia. Of course, for now, Czechia and Portugal returning to the floor for the second half. The margin is 21 points, with Czechia leading the way at the halfway point. We highlighted Rysingarova just a moment ago, and we highlighted just how good the team overall for Czechia is. I mean, the 28 assists last night, the bench players having just as much of an impact as the starters. It's been by committee throughout this whole tournament.
I love it. I love teams that find ways that across a tournament in particular, you need that depth of rotation. Everyone understands their role, and it's so difficult. People, unless you've been in these situations, getting units of people to understand their roles, because all these guys play major minutes on their clubs. For them to come in and have to make big contributions off the bench in maybe less time than they're expected to get is not easy. And it's national team coaching is a tough ask. And Coach Kova's done an excellent job already. I'm not sure how far they've got to win this game first, obviously, give themselves a chance to qualify, because they've not won this game yet. They're up 21. We know they've got a big margin, but how far can they go? I don't know. It's a great thing having the experience of going deep in tournaments. As a country, the expectation is high. You've got to like what they see. They're strong on the inside, and they're making perimeter jump shots. So that's all you need to do to be competitive. Yeah, there are some great teams they could be playing. There are some teams that have got huge reputations.
Absolutely.
And we're going to see them play one of those on Sunday. So that'll be a great test for Czechia against Belgium. Hopefully for them, they won't have to win it to qualify.
Yes.
You know, they'll take care of business today. But I'm looking forward to seeing how well they do, because they've got the makings of a very, very nice group here.
So 2 or 3 of Czechia's top scorers, Holoshinska and Andalova, both came off the bench. Rysingarova, the only starters. So again, we highlight that complete team effort. And a reminder, Czechia will qualify for the quarterfinals with a win here, and also if Belgium beat Montenegro tonight. So they've put themselves in a very good position at the moment. Based on form, we think Belgium get the job done. The reigning champions up against Montenegro, a very young team. But Portugal, they're trying their heart out. We said for Sofia de Silva, she's been the one that's tried to put these shots up. We saw in her shot chart, the shots that she's actually made have been tough ones. So she's been put into tricky positions. She's made what she can, but she hasn't. It's quite the opposite story to Czechia, believe it or not. It hasn't been by committee at all. It's just been individuals trying.
100%.
Trying. But you mentioned before, there was a lineup on the floor with, the likes of Suero, who just, I hate to say, isn't a prolific scorer at the moment.
That lineup had no one in the qualifiers that had more than 3.5 points a game as an average. And you're talking about a team here whose basketball IQ is really high in Czechia, so they know that they don't have to help. They know that this is, against this lineup, the scout and the coach would have said, hey, when these guys are on the floor, we don't have to do it. Starting 5 points, 19-0 on the bench. Well, there's the summing up of the scenario that they're faced with. There isn't anything that can prepare you for tournament basketball apart from being in tournament basketball. And all the prep can be great, but you've got to know how to go back to back, how to make contributions. Even Rodriguez, who's had a nice game again, made a couple of shots. She's a really good pull-up shooter. So can they not create an opportunity where she's got the space to go into? There's no specific purpose within the group to get certain people's shots. And so they are having to make it up as they go along individually. And there's talent here. Portugal basketball, as we keep saying, is moving in the right direction. This has got to be the springboard for them, not a finishing point. This is a moving forward point for them.
So they're getting their last words here from Coach Ricardo Vasconcelos, who was getting quite animated throughout the first half. There were just little errors. We saw the likes of Philippe be sort of the agitator, if you like, and she wasn't getting rewarded. Then some silly fouls from the likes of Da Costa really frustrated him, and it's got them to where they are.
And then you just mentioned Philippe as a great point. She started because he wanted a little bit more punch in terms of offense. When she comes off that little down screen and catches it on the three-point line, she's a threat because she's quick and can put it on the floor, and she's got that the ability to shoot the three. She made the three. We saw the little penetration. She made the bank shot. Just run a few more screens for her to get her advantage when she catches the ball. It's the next step for them as a team. It's the next step for them to try and understand how to get the best out of each other, both coaching-wise and as a group of players. Because a group of players, the changes that players can put on the floor at this level and the reads on the floor, that's the difference between Czechia and Portugal at the moment.
EuroBasket Women's app, available in the App Store. Make sure you download it, you get news, you get scores, you get highlights, everything you need to stay up to date on all things EuroBasket Women's. Of course, Group C, which is us here in Brno, and Group D, the groups in action today. D is the group in Hamburg.
Yeah, while you've mentioned it, talking about Portuguese basketball, the German basketball,
yeah.
Wow. I mean, the women will be hosting the World Cup next year. Go and watch some basketball in Germany.
So we tip off the second half here in Brno. It's Czechia 40 leading Portugal 19. Julia Montesano and Mark Clark are with you in commentary. And Rodriguez tried to get something going there for her team to start things off. She's going to head to the free throw line.
Good start. You know, it's I don't mind how you tick the scoreboard over. If you go to the free throw line, step up, make the throws, you're under 20, first possession. Do it, score, get a stop, score, get a stop, try and eat in, win the third quarter. Get it to 15, give yourself a sniff of getting back into the game.
It's Hamzova's third foul as well.
And let's not forget, they kept Serbia to a 2-point quarter, so this team can stop teams. They're probably going to have to keep them to a 2-point quarter and not give a layup away.
Yeah, just too easy there. Boračkova happy to oblige and finish it off for her team. Her first points for the night. After being the one that got it all started really for Czechia last night. And here is Rodriguez getting things started for Portugal.
That's exactly what we were talking about. She finds space and she makes a good percentage.
Hamzova to Boračkova. Hamzova driving. Oh, and she makes it in. Loves that. Absolutely loves that. And so do the entire stadium. That was a tough make, and she heads to the line for one more.
Just another example, isn't it? She got bumped. Well, Portugal got bumped on penetration. I mean, we get a replay of the just leak out layup, but Hamzova just stayed with the shot, gave it a chance to go in, and now she's been rewarded, goes to the line for the extra. Really do think she's a player who can play at the highest level. With that size at the point guard spot, she's a real asset for this roster.
Betancourt Correia for Portugal. To Rodriguez. To the tune of the drums. Ringing around the stadium at the moment. Shot clock ticking down. De Silva double teamed. Ricing her over. Says, you're not going anywhere.
Caught a foul though. That's very fortunate for Portugal that the foul was called before the 24-second buzzer just killed time. This is just unforgivable.
It's an excellent pass, you got to say.
Oh, no, it's a great pass,
over,
but
yeah.
It's
unforgivable from a Portugal point of view, absolutely, yeah.
After a made free throw?
Yeah, tricky. Betancourt Correia has had a few moments like that, just has been the one to just pull the trigger really late. Love to see them work hard to get her in better positions. She can be really damaging, and she's got a lot of experience. Hamzova to Boračkova. Great 1-2 punch they've got going at the moment. Hamsava again, right spot, right time.
Yeah, it's that basketball IQ. I'm guarded by the guard. I'm going to go and park myself there, and I'm going to make a post move. Super execution.
Betancourt higher to Philippe, to Rodriguez. Da Costa pulls up. That one just falls a tad short.
Rising Garova just owned the keyway. His body's bouncing off. It's just that her positioning was excellent. She was down low, real strong base. Couldn't get anywhere near the space. Just excellent defense. Just phenomenal the way she's playing as the 5 spot on this team.
She was the MVP of the pre-qualifying tournament for the World Cup back in Mexico earlier on this year. And that was the tournament, of course, that Czechia won to get to the next stage of World Cup qualifiers too. Viorilova from the corner. Da Costa confronted. Betancourt higher. Trying to get around Risingarova again, just owning that keyway. And she gets the rebound.
Just immense. I love the phrase, you know, what it says on the tin for this spot is this is what you're supposed to do. On that, it just says this is how you play the 5 spot. She does it at the highest level.
Yeah, any aspiring basketballer watching at home, she's definitely one to write a few notes on.
I mean, she was drafted in the WNBA. She has played in Spain. She has played in Hungary. She's, you know, with one of the biggest teams in Hungary and PEX, and she is quality.
And she's great energy too. I mean, we watched the practices this week, and she's always complimentary of her players, encouraging after every shot. It's a big lifter, and you can see why they've had so much success so far. They're playing for each other. Philippe fouled. 2 to come.
Well, that's why Philippe was in the starting lineup. Catch, attack, real quick, rip through. She gets into a situation, the help can't come. There just haven't been as many opportunities as there could be for her to put it on the floor and be aggressive.
Still stuck on the 5 points. Josephine Philippe. 2 rebounds as well. Unfortunately, she misses both. So the score line remains 47-24. Zaitamarova. Vorachkova just flew through her hands. It allows Betancourt Kohaya to go up against Risingarova, and she gets fouled.
She's not going to like the call, but there was just enough contact that there's no way that the referee couldn't make this call. See, that's quite smart. She's not trying to block it that hard. There was just enough contact to make it impossible to get the shot away.
Third foul for Risingarova means she takes a seat. And a check of her back out there. What a blessing it is to have Chekova and Risingarova in the same lineup, doing what they do best.
I mean, like, thinking ahead, it'll be interesting to see if they actually play them together against Belgium, because Belgium have that big, you know, inside combination of Merciman and Linskin, so they may have to play together. We haven't seen them play together at all yet in the competition. They have plenty of other options though, because they are very, very long in the forward spot.
I'd love to see them together. It'd be box office, it really would be. Holoshinska. She's worth the price of admission. Gets it back from Vorachkova. Pospishilova, great spin move. Back out to Vorachkova. A chance here for Portugal, although for Haida loses it. Should have another opportunity from the baseline.
know when things are going well, when the drumbeat in the arena gets quicker and quicker and quicker. Great atmosphere. There's about 2,500 people in the gym here today. It's just, what a great place to watch basketball.
2,556, the official crowd number. We had 2,200 for Czechia's first game last night, so it's already building. Surely we get a sellout for the game on Sunday against Belgium. It's been building up really nicely.
Well, if anyone hasn't thought about coming, they should. I mean, because that's looking like a really nice big clash for a first round game.
Yeah. Stars all over the floor. It's been the case for all the games here in Brno. Sofia De Silva at the line, 7 points. Again, Portugal struggling from the line. Three from 7 in the third quarter alone from free throws. And again, another miss. Da Costa to Cruz. Good to see them get the rebound back. Suedo was always going to struggle against Chekova.
I think everybody's struggling against Chekova.
Zaitamarova. Vorachkova. Back to Zaitamarova. Oh, there it is, Chekova.
Foul on the floor though. Again,
that shot won't count. Baseline ball for the home team. They'll make a couple of subs now. Angelova and Stupalova coming on.
You made the point earlier on. It's like, what do they miss on any of these substitutions? It's not like, oh, we've got a great player here and then we go down a level. Because even Belgium have a dip. This roster is very, very deep in terms of the way people play in their roles.
It's limited minutes from Stupalova, who had a good stint last night. Hanashova hasn't even come on the floor yet, you know, the experienced Olympian. So I think Coach Patajkova is really managing her roster well too, which is quite important.
Well, you're never quite sure how healthy Hanashova is with that having had that knee injury. Back-to-back games might be something that she's trying to avoid, unless she really has to use it. It's just great to see her back. I mean, it's just
2012 Olympian. Great to see her selected for the tournament. A few great stories like that across the league. We're going to see Montenegro in action later on. Milica Jovanovic, their captain. Their last EuroBasket tournament. Another person that's put everything on the line for their nation.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to see these players playing tournament basketball and in Hanashova's case, playing it in front of a home crowd too. So no field goal for Portugal in the last 4.5 minutes. Silva can't change things. Suedo to Silva. Cruz knocks it down.
Well, we saw her do that in the fourth quarter last night. She's got a really nice high release.
I just love, she doesn't know how to celebrate. She just screams and run off. I love it. It's so good.
Adds a defensive rebound to that positive stat off the bench.
She's always smiling. It's so fun to watch. It's a player that's loving their EuroBasket debut. She's calling for it here. Rolling off the screen. Suedo goes for it. De Silva with the putback. They'll count it. A nice little moment there for Portugal. It prompts the Czechia timeout. 47 plays 30.
Well, that puts them plus in the quarter, which is all we asked them to do. Can you win the quarter? If you win the quarter, you're on the right way back. And for the first time, maybe there's a little bit of a drop-off in the intensity, and that's why the coach called the timeout.
So a good little run here from Portugal. It's been tough in terms of field goals, but we have seen some nice moments when they have converted their opportunities. That little putback there from De Silva is what prompted the Czechia timeout. 47 plays 30 at the moment. They're inching their way back bit by bit. Still a long time left in this game. 4 minutes in the third term, another 10. You never know.
Well, and that's why we said win the quarter. You know, if you get to 15, and then you have a great start to the fourth quarter, you're in the game. So one of the great things about this game that we always talk about is that you can get some momentum. You can find yourself and get back in games in a hurry.
That's why Czechia put Rysingarova back out there. They sense a bit of a moment here. Andialova from the corner. Nice work by Suedo to keep it in. Silva's got eyes up ahead. Suedo calls for some calm. They'll run a play. Still with Suedo. And the foul is called.
Turn the corner and try to score. The first, absolutely such a positive to have her do that. She's capable of doing it. She turned the corner. She got a multiple screen action. And there, puts the shot up, draws the contact. Unfortunately, she's not shooting the one because we could have got really excited for her. But she's got to go to the line, make the throws. Got to make the throws. You're in the hole.
Yeah.
You've got to stop digging when you're in the hole. Make the throws. Get back, possession by possession. Get this Czechia team to worry a little bit about being hunted down by the opponent.
Just imagine if they converted some of those free throws. Because look at this, Czechia, they haven't scored the last 5 minutes. Tough call there.
Just move on, play the next play. Coach doesn't need to get a little animated, too animated.
Yes, exactly.
And there you can see that. Referee's absolutely right. You see that movement forward that generated the contact. He has to call that. They didn't need to do it. They were in great shape at the halfway line with a small guard in a trap. Andialova was really struggling to find a pass option. Sending it to the line just...
And it gives them back momentum.
Yeah,
they haven't scored in the last 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Just dust yourself down. That's happened. Let's move on to the next play. Let's get a good shot going the other way if you're Portugal now.
And making both free throws has been something Portugal has been in desperate need of. Either go 1 from 2 or none from 2 or none from 1. Be tricky. Habzova, great work. Vorachkova through the spin cycle.
Well, you said talk about momentum, and the free throws changed it. Well, they just hammered home that momentum change. Back to a 20-point game when it could have been a 15-point game.
13 fast break points to 2. De Silva's been the shining light for Portugal. Rysingarova again fouls. That'll be her 4th.
She stayed with it, De Silva. She really has. It's a tough matchup for her to work through. She likes that little fadeaway. It's a little bit trademark for her. Draws the contact. Rysingarova has to sit with the foul trouble. Makes the throws, gets it to 18, still 3 minutes.
Just got to make them. That's the reality of it. They need to improve their efficiency from the line. Again, it's not going to help. It's not going to help.
This isn't a complicated analysis point, is it? You know, missing free throws, missing like layups, not scoring off of turnovers. 1 for 2, 1 for 2 against the 2 for 2 going the other way and the steal, and you end up in the negative.
10 points for her, 4 from 8 from the free throw line for Sofia Da Silva. Voracekova had that beautiful move just in the play before. Gets spotted away from her. She's able to get it out to Kopecka. Suero kicks ahead to Umabano. Again, the play is halted.
I think the officials have just said, well, we've seen enough of this stopping the break and the holding on the in the transition. I don't think it'll be a straightforward foul the next time they make that call.
So Stupilova will take the seat.
Have to say though, we haven't had to talk about the officials at all.
Yeah.
Which is always the way you'd love it to be.
So Carolina Cruz at the line. That's a better start.
Wow, she's had an impact, hasn't she? She made the three.
Absolutely.
Okay, she came up with a foul as well as that, but she's really been effective.
Back-to-back triples in the dying seconds last night was pretty cool for her too. 6 points, 2 rebounds up against Belgium. You take that.
And she's young, you know, she's a future for this team. She's only 24 years old, so all things looking good at the moment. This is a big possession. Get a stop now, get to 15. You're in a very good place.
2 minutes left in the third period. 51 plays 34. Voracekova's been excellent. Has to go though, long triple. Great work by Portugal.
Wow. Just a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Just an opportunity to build some momentum here going into the end of the quarter. Scoring here is huge.
Crowd's trying to hype up the Czech team because the Portugal fans are getting loud as well. They can sense a moment here for their team. The EuroBasket women's debutantes, Silva from the corner. That is all money! Let's go, Portugal back in this contest. 51-37, timeout called on the floor. 1:37 left in the third period. It is game on, Inferno.
And I was just giving Israel a hard time. She had a wide open Cruz there on the pick and pop, turned it down for the pass to the corner.
The no-look pass, I might add, too.
She knows a lot more than me. Found the open player, that's her spot, knocks it down. We've got a 14-point basketball game. They're going to stop after this timeout. They're in great shape.
Have done some nice things here, the Czech team. Hamsova's been a real standout for them. We've talked her up all game. Her size, her presence, her hands there, getting the pass to Voracekova. She's been excellent. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. She's got the 3 fouls next to her name. Rysingarova's got the 4, and you have to say that's where it started to turn a bit. Rysingarova has the 4 fouls.
Yep.
Portugal sensed an opportunity. They can't really convert their own free throws, but they're trying their heart out.
Well, coaches decided to give Hamzova the break, you know, the end of the quarter and the 2 minutes. And has trusted Hamzova.
Silva swatted it away. Good intent.
They can maintain this momentum going into the quarter. Keep Czechia pointless going into this end of the third. Be huge for Portugal.
Voracekova. Čechova. Oh, beautiful. Makes it look so easy.
Well, as you said, she really can play facing the hoop. Just stretches the floor enough. They've just got to keep going now, Portugal. They're only down the 16 points with the basketball.
Suero coming off that beautiful pass. Now needs some friends to come with her. Had to put up a tough shot in the end.
Could have had the shot. She turned the corner.
I love her to back herself in. I love the way she plays. I love her to get more on the scoreboard. deserves it.
Oh, and that's the point. It's not that I don't think she can play. It's the frustration.
Yeah.
She could do just that little bit more.
Petska, tough make. Went in and under, did it the hard way. This is a nice response out of the timeout for Czechia. What can Suedo do? Portugal ball from the baseline. 19 seconds left in the third period. Gorachkova had decency to bounce past to Kopetska, and she was able to kiss it off the glass beautifully. The crowd show their appreciation. She's been pretty impactful in her limited minutes, Kopetska. Rodriguez back on the floor. It's a nice move by coach Vasconcelos. Cruz just jucks it up in the end. Now Czechia have a chance to finish off this third period. Violalova fouled on the way through. A hard one to give away. You can see the hands on the hips. Coach Vasconcelos on the sideline. Not one you want to give away.
And you don't want to give away. You're in the penalty. It's gives them a chance to get it back to that 20-point margin.
Goes in for Violalova. Second one's good as well. Rodriguez will have to pull the trigger from half court. Falls short. A very intriguing third quarter that's just played out in front of us. A big fourth quarter coming up. At the end of the third, it's Czechia 57, leading Portugal 37.
Well, it's a little bit of what might have been in those last 3 minutes. They got it back to 15, had the basketballs back out to 20. The numbers are no better for Portugal. They've just reduced the three-point percentage for Czechia. It's the only change really. Statistically, 4 from 12 for Czechia now. They didn't make a three in that period. And you're going to get a look at these best plays, and there'll be some highlights here. It's situations like the little leak-out layup. It's situations like the foul at the end of the quarter. There's those plays that you get rid of those, you're right in the game, and it's happened time after time for this Portuguese team. They've shown us glimpses of how they could be in the game, and then they just have a breakdown mentally and end up giving advantage to this Czechia team. Hands over, as we said, been exceptional. Goes to the post up in the guard spot. Has got the skill set to score from there. But it's just, the next step is a big, big step. It's a small step in terms of the level of improvement, but it's a big step between the team that qualifies to the team that can compete. And they just make too many mental mistakes before we even get into anything else. And as you said, the foul gave them the momentum swing. The very next play, they have to make sure they get it in and come down the floor. What do? They turn it over and give up another two.
Scan the QR code on your screen to get the Courtside 1891 app, where you can watch live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. You can see the FIBA Euro president, Jorge Garbajosa, in the house. Why wouldn't you be? It's a great atmosphere here in Brno. If you haven't got your tickets to the remaining games, make sure you get onto it. Keep watching us, because it's an interesting way of playing out Group C here. The final stages of this game see Czechia leading by 20.
And it's situations like that for Portugal. Rodriguez is a quick guard that can play defense. She does not need to foul Hamzoga on the first possession of the game. Then she plays a much better defensive effort, and they have to take the tough three, which they've got to clean it up. It's just that difference. It's got to be every possession for Portugal. We're just wanting them to not make those mistakes because they've got the ability to be in the game.
Mabano scoops it over the top to Rodriguez. Pospisilova happy to pick that one up. And Hamzoga, good to see her starting the fourth period.
Oh, I think it's a smart move. You get the extra 2 minutes of the quarter break and the minute and a half at the end of the third.
She comes in from the corner. Rodriguez picks it up. A nice night for Rodriguez last night. She's backing it up again today. Another 7 points to her name.
I like Rodriguez as a point guard. I think she does a really nice job, and she has enough offense herself that you have to play her on it. She's got a really nice release on the shot. So again, another part that they're really going to use, and she's in the prime. You know, she's 27 years old. She's got a few more EuroBaskets in her.
Absolutely, she does. A little show from the Silva, and it pays off. Tough make. £12 tonight. She surpassed her efforts against Belgium. A really positive night for the Portugal captain. Kopecka can't get that one to go. Has another opportunity, and that time she converts. And it's going to have to be an early timeout here for Portugal. They don't want this one to blow out. They deserve better than that. But Kopecka has taken her opportunity, missed on the first attempt, got it back from her captain, and didn't make a mistake on that occasion. Excellent work from the Czechs. Home crowd full of support for this team. Czechova copped a little whack in the meantime, but hopefully she's all right. So you can see there, we've talked about it all game and all game. The starting 5 points for Portugal, 30, and the bench points only 9. But look at that, the starting 5 and bench points for Czechia, it is even Stevens.
It's pretty much it's a 12-player effort for Czechia. And all coaches got to, the only approach he's got to take right now is let's make it hard for them and just get stops and score and see where we are with 5 to go. If the next 3.5 minutes, if they can get it to around that 12-point mark, have a little run, but we can't give them second chances. We can't give them easy looks around it. Let's just make it as hard as we can. And the Silva's given them a game again on the inside. She's really coming up with some solid numbers. They may have to come down the floor and think, okay, let's try and get something early. Maybe run an early screen to create for Rodriguez to try and get that perimeter game going. There's still enough time for them to make this interesting, but they cannot give Czechia anything easy, any second shots.
Only one starter's played more than 20 minutes, Vorachkova, so really even rotations. And Rice-Singarova, if it stays this way, does she stay on the bench potentially for the whole 4th term? She's got a foul, a big game against, got 4 fouls, sorry. She's got a big game against Belgium coming up. This is where coaching becomes really interesting. How you use your rosters best in tournament basketball.
Yep.
Because the turnarounds are really short. The teams have games and then they might have a practice the next day and then a game the next night. So it's tricky.
Portugal have literally had something like a 18, 19-hour turnaround time because they played the last game and they played the first game. It is hard.
And of course, all those factors last night, we had the delay with the technical issues, so the games ended up going a bit later. It would have been a very late night for these teams. But everyone's handled it super well, from the players to the staff in the arena. It's been great to see it all back on track today. 59 plays 39. Coming up next, Montenegro up against Belgium. 8:15 local time, that one tips off. Spotted Coach Mike Thibault in the house already, just watching on keenly. Seeing what he's got to deal with this Czech team. He got the job done over Portugal last night. And Czechia was able to scoop that one in.
That was a big, Czechia was able to play on the move like that. She's quick and she's got good hands. The time before she had to make a tougher move through contact. That's not what she's great at. What she's great at is what you just saw. I really do like what she brings. It's a really nice complementary player to Rice-Singarova. They give them different things. They work well with all the perimeter players. So it's a nice situation that the Czechia national team find themselves in.
Chekova with 7 points, 3 rebounds as well. Let's play the 18 minutes tonight. Really nice make off the opposite end. Here comes Portugal now. Betancourt higher to Da Costa from the corner. That's better! That's what we know she can do.
Yeah, back to back. Give her the ball the next time down. See if you can find her again. Get a stop, get another 3. Super pass.
Vioralova might respond. Jump ball. It's going to head Portugal's way.
Yeah, exactly what coach would have said. Only give her 1 shot. They moved the ball beautifully. Czechia just couldn't make the 3.
And it's been the tail of their second half, not being able to convert the 3. 0 from 8 in the second half, Czechia. They were on fire in the first.
And that's, you know, that's how good are they? That's all around that debate. Their field goal percentages weren't great in qualifying, even though they were already qualified as a host. I really like that format where the 4 hosts had a group, a great level group. But they started the first game and a half like they could make 3s all day.
Got some 3-point shooters on the floor, I'll tell you that much. And Rice-Singer-Rover back on the floor, interestingly too. She's got the 4 fouls.
Well, and coach again making the move that says we don't want this to get messy.
Absolutely.
You know, we're up 19. Let's put this game away. Let's not let anyone get excited.
Rodriguez makes the first.
Reasonable, really quite an effective offensive lineup on the floor for Portugal. Probably as effective as they can be. So if there's a group of 5 that can get some momentum going, this is it. Every one of these players on the floor has had big games in qualifying.
Zaytamidova on the move. Tries to kick it to Holoshinska. Betancourt higher pulls up for the triple. Probably wasn't the right option. Luckily they get another chance.
I mean, I'm with you. Was it the right option? She hasn't made a shot all game.
Yeah.
Is that the one to take? I would say no. Especially if she had Rodriguez wide open on the other side of the floor.
Here is Rodriguez. She can't take her chance. Zaytamidova. Shortest player in the EuroBasket women's. She is so quick and she gives so much to this team. Her height means nothing. She is excellent. Holoshinska. They still can't hit a 3 in the second half, but Kopecka again there to clean up on the glass.
It's a heartbreaker. That Portuguese bench, it's like they've missed a 3. Oh, they got the offensive rebound. Come on, it's every single possession has got to be perfect for them there if they have any hope of getting back in this.
Da Costa. She's feeling it. But Kopecka is as well. Denied. Rice-Singer-Rover to Holoshinska. Rice-Singer-Rover going up against Philippe. The help comes and she's fouled. Hits the deck hard.
You've done the job. They did a really nice job. Rice-Singer-Rover is very, very good in that situation. They took all the space away. They didn't have to try and reach. But that's what she gives you in the game. She gives you that real inside post presence to play in traffic.
Plays 44. Nearly halfway through the 4th period. Up next, Montenegro and Belgium. Belgium getting the win last night, as did Czechia. Goes the way it currently is. Czechia win, Belgium win. Both those teams qualify. Rice-Singer-Rover will get another opportunity. 9 points, 3 rebounds from her 15.5 minutes. And this time she converts the free throw. Rodriguez. Just beacon of energy. Good rebound, Umabano. Betancourt go higher. Still can't get her game going. Offensive foul called. Baseline ball for Czechia. Just put the arm out.
Yep.
That was all it took. Another great crowd packed into the house. Over 2,500 in this stadium. Capacity's 3,000, so we've still got some room left if you're keen to come to catch some EuroBasket women's action. Couldn't recommend it enough.
Wow, you got the chance to see one of the best teams in the world later. One of the best players of all time later. So if you love your basketball at the highest level, there's only one place to come.
Rice-Singarova. Again fouled on the way in.
Love it. Just love the ways she holds the space, and when she goes, she goes. And if you're trying to contest, be prepared. There's going to be some physicality right here. Great work in the post by both, offense and defensively, and the help. And she's just gone through traffic. Super control. She goes to the free throw line. She's an excellent free throw shooter.
At this rate, it's either she gets fouled or she scores.
Yeah, we said right at the beginning, if she catches it that deep, she's a tough ask defensively, especially when the Portuguese don't have anyone of that physical presence to hold space against her. And she's just smart. Her basketball IQ is just really high. You talked about her energy earlier on, the way she works with her teammates. She's a huge asset. Would be an asset to any team in EuroBasket.
Stadium's literally vibrating. The energy in here is fantastic. Kopetska still can't get the free game going in the second half, but they've got a very handy lead, 66-44. Can Umabano get a three? Not quite on this occasion.
I like the option though. They got transition. She gets her feet set on the three-point line. She was balanced, just couldn't make the shot. Well, there's 24% is like.
So Rodriguez will come off for a spell. Suero gets her opportunity, and for the first time tonight, we're seeing Elena Hanushova joining on the action.
Love it. Love seeing her play this game. As you mentioned, she was an Olympian. She was a part of some great Czechia national teams. Now it's a great opportunity for her. It's almost like a little bit of recognition. Love it. Love the way that she gets the noise that comes from the crowd when she enters the floor.
Here she is, ball in hand. Hands it off to Vorachkova. Oh, bullet pass to Chekova. Got slapped out of her hands.
You better have your hands up on this team because they pass the ball if you're open. And she did well to hang on, draws the contact, goes to the free throw line. They don't miss a beat as they rotate on the inside.
Chekova converts. Of course, she was a EuroLeague champion with ZVVZ USK Praha. A bit of a mouthful, but what a great team to be a part of for her.
And you want to see, she shows here the level of ability. You want to see her have a bigger role in that team.
Yeah.
You don't want it, if you're a Czech fan, you don't want to see her just be a bit butt play. You want to see her more of a role on that team. That team is standard bearer for Czechia basketball. Winning the EuroLeague Women's again, it's phenomenal. Just got to get those Czech players being a major part of that rotation, and she is obviously a quality player.
In that team alongside Vorachkova and Viodalova, so in good company. Good to see all those three here in EuroBasket Women's.
I mean, I know the game is never over till it's over. 4 minutes to go to 22 points down Portugal, but can't say enough today in particular about their effort defensively. They've tried to play at a tempo. And we keep saying it's their first EuroBasket Women appearance. and there's nothing like being here. You've got to experience it to know how to deal with it, and it's a great step. They've got this game, the rest of this game, and then they've got an opportunity perhaps to win their first game. It's going to be a big game for them. Forget qualification because they won't be able to qualify, but they don't care. They're going to have that opportunity to perhaps get their first win at EuroBasket on Sunday, so no such thing as a dead game. And they should be holding their heads high here in terms of making it and actually making Czechia and Belgium play well.
I want them to do it for Coach Vasconcelos because you just saw the animation in his face. We just want him to relax for a little bit and enjoy the moment, but he's been so animated.
They take your hat off to Carolina Cruz as well. She's now gone to the inside and makes it happen. She's already shown that she's got that ability to extend the floor. Shot window for these players as well. You know, they're in the Portuguese league. They may have an opportunity to go to perhaps a bigger playing team in another league. At 24, with her attributes, she could find herself somewhere very interesting for her.
Suero kicks it to Umabano. Cruz with the 7 points. Bolt here again. De Silva. Ends up with Chekova. Now Andilova. Foul called.
I think they called an 8-second call.
Right. My mistake.
No, but like it's almost like it's one of those 8-second calls. I'm like, well, how did that happen? Because De Silva took the shot, they secured the rebound, and I didn't see him wait forever.
Yeah.
No one on the bench was going, hey, get it over, get it over, get it over.
That's true, there wasn't much urgency. Cruz. Not that time. She's brought great energy into the team tonight though. 7 points, 2 rebounds, coming off 6 points against Belgium last night.
It's the first time with the team as well, so great opportunity for her. She's taken it with both hands.
They have heaps of options. I think they named a 32-player preliminary squad Portugal, so they've really had to cut it down. One of the youngsters they're really excited about is Clara Silva, another one that didn't get picked to this tournament, but she's got a really bright future ahead of her. Carolina Cruz, we've seen some great glimpses of her throughout this tournament. And then you get experience like Hanushova, who's on the line. Get her first points of the night.
She's almost, legend is a much overused word, but she's been around in Czechia basketball team, national teams for such a long time. You know, she is one of the faces of this game in this country, so I know we keep hyping her a little bit and giving her the recognition she deserves, but that's exactly what she deserves. She deserves to be recognized on this team.
69 plays 46. Just over 2 minutes left in this game. Then we're going to see Belgium and Montenegro in action. That's a beautiful shot from Suero. Where has this been?
Why, oh why, oh why do we have to get to this point with only 2 minutes to go for her to take the first three? There's the frustration.
Super shot, super pass, super finish. Skubalova. Excellent vision by Vorachkova. Suero think about going back to back now. Kicks it out to Vienna. Hanushova strong on the boards. Andilova. Hanushova. Poloshinska thought about the three. Andilova dishes it to Vorachkova. 4.9 left on the shot clock. Zaitamadova enters the floor. Good little sequence here by Portugal and Suero. Nothing but net. Let's check that out again. It's too good just to look at once. Beautiful shot. Fourth point for the game. Angelova. Couldn't get it to work out. Final minute of this game. It'll be another win for Czechia. They've done their work to qualify. They need Belgium to beat Montenegro tonight to secure their spot in Greece, but Carolina Cruz is having herself a game.
Hey, she has some really sweet rhythm on that extend when she extends the floor. As soon as she has a little bit of time, and when you're playing that spot on the floor, you will have some time. She looks very, very confident from the three-point line. There's a lot to work with Cruz. There's a lot to be excited about for this national team to have her as a part of it for coming years.
Crowd getting right behind their team now as we tick down to the last 30 seconds of the game.
Last minute of the game, it's a 19-point game. Bodies on the floor still.
Excellent to see. This is what EuroBasket means.
Yeah.
This is what winning means.
Tell you what, that's a great post up though.
Yeah.
Vorejkova just got a body in exactly the right place, and the only way to stop it was to foul. And it's just they've done very well. The guard and small forward spots here for the Czech have done a great job on post ups against when they've got the mismatch on the switch, and they've done a really nice job making the pass too. So it's again basketball IQ, Czechia basketball.
Stubalova with the offensive rebound. Cruz fouls her. I think that's her 5th, so that'll be her night done. What an impact she's had. Carolina Cruz. We're going to see much more of her in future years for Portugal. One more opportunity to play for her country in EuroBasket Women's on Sunday.
One of those scenarios, isn't it? It's like there's a lot of upsides to it. How much she makes of those and how effective she'll be. She's got plenty of time to develop her career.
It is absolutely heaving in here. It is so good to see. Cheering their Czechia team on to their 2nd straight EuroBasket Women's win in this group stage here in Brno. The home fans absolutely loving what they're seeing. The bench on their feet as well. Portugal can't finish it off. Saitamanova gets in the way. Full time here in Czechia, and the host nation has secured their 2nd win of the tournament in front of their adoring fans. They've held up their end of the bargain. If Belgium wins tonight, they are going to Greece for the finals. Final score here, Czechia 73, defeating Portugal 49.
Congratulations to them. They've been, I think the lovely thing, the great thing, the beautiful thing is the way as a team, they really are effective. They share it. They love sharing the basketball. They've got some real quality across the roster, but the real strength is the roster. It's the 1 to 12. For Portugal, really good debut so far. They've got one more game to go. Some really big stories that have already been effective for him. Cruz was exceptional tonight. They've got a nice asset there in Italy in Livermore, and it's lots to work for. But now they've seen it, now they've tasted it. They've got one more game where they could get their first win. That'll be big for them. But all things being equal, this team is going to Greece. And the Czech team in the latter stages of a EuroBasket, they're a tough ask for anybody. They've got a lot of pluses. Crowd come out in their thousands to watch them. But I love the fact that it's a 12-player roster. That stat that we saw in the 4th quarter, where literally 50% of the points were the starters, 50% with the bench, is a hell of a stat for a coach to have. Really does put some pressure on Coach Akova, and she's doing a marvelous job at really managing the resources. She's got some real superstars, but everybody is a key role player on this team, and that's why the crowd are warming to them, because they can recognize that. Shot the 3 ball well for a game and a half. The red light, the Warriors, they didn't shoot the ball well in that 2nd half. And that's going to be something that other teams will take note of when they come to prepare for them in the first knockout race, because you can't give them space on the inside. Those pictures will go all over Czech social media, all
Absolutely.
over.
They deserve